Hello everyone again, it's Marco here and I've come today to give you the answers to your cricket sporting memories quiz. So you've probably been mulling over your answers or maybe you've been Googling them, hopefully not, and you can see how many you've got right or wrong. So 15 questions, I'll run through the questions, then I'll give you the answer and maybe a little bit of background where I can. So number one, we asked you which English cricket team has won the most county championships? And the answer on that one is, yes, you're right, it's Yorkshire. Yorkshire with 32 titles and one shared title. So Yorkshire is the county team we're looking for with 32 titles. That's number one, Yorkshire. Number two, who has scored more runs in the Ashes than any other player? And remember I said of all time, so you might have to go back a fair way on this one to remember the late Sir Don Bradman. You remember him? You probably don't remember him playing, but you probably remember your granddad talking about Don Bradman and his heroics. He played in 37 tests, scoring an astonishing 5,028 runs, and 19 of those were centuries. He had a phenomenal batting average, and no wonder he's still seen as a legend in Australia. So it was the Australian Sir Don Bradman who was the answer to question number two. Number three, we asked you what country holds the record highest test score of 952 for 6, which they scored against India. Now, the answer to this one, you didn't have to think that far away from India on this one. It was Sri Lanka. I'm sure that went down very well with India at the time, not. They achieved that back in 1997. So it was Sri Lanka for question number three. Question number four, interesting one this. Why was Graham Gooch banned from playing Test cricket for full 3 years back in 1982? It wasn't ball tampering, it wasn't betting or anything like that. He joined a rebel tour group of South Africa. And of course South Africa at the time was still under apartheid, so they were still shunned by the sporting world. But Graham Gooch and some others like Jeff Boycott, but he was nearer the end of his career anyway. So Graham Gooch probably got the worst punishment of all. He continued obviously playing county cricket and continued winning there, but his days in the wilderness playing Test cricket obviously affected his career quite badly there. So that's answer number four. Graham Gooch joined a rebel tour of South Africa. Now number five, we asked you what is a king pair. Now a king pair is if the cricketer is dismissed for a duck in both innings, it would be known as a pair. And if they're dismissed on the first ball in both innings, it's known as a king pair. So the answer is the batsman has been dismissed on the first ball in both innings, it's a king pair. And that's the answer for number five. Dismissed on the first ball in both innings, a king pair. Number six, which Test cricketer won the BBC Sports Personality of the Year award in 1975? And the answer to this one is David Steele. Not to be confused with the leader of the Liberal Party, David Steele, but this David Steele was called up quite late in his cricketing career to Test cricket, and he had the appearance, because he had quite grey hair, he wore glasses, so they sort of were a bit bemused when he first came playing cricket in the Australians, thought he looked a bit like he should be retired. But it was David Steele, who is now 78 years of age, who took the award. The public were really taken with his heroics in Test cricket in those years, and he got the public vote. So it just shows how well he did perform to achieve the Personality of the Year award. And it's not long after that that he retired as well. So that's number 6, David Steele. Number 7, Dickie Bird umpired his last test at which ground? So remember, this is his last test, not necessarily his last county match. So his last test umpiring match was at Lord's. He's 87 years of age now, and his last one was in 1996, and it was England versus India, and that was where he umpired his last match. So the answer to number 7 is Lord's. Number 8, who has won the most series of the Ashes? Is it England or is it Australia? Well, it's very close, and at the minute we've got Australia down at 33, England at 32 with 5 draws. So unfortunately the Australians are just leading by 1. So the answer to number 8 is Australia. Number 9, a cricket umpire raises both arms straight above their head to signify what? And as I'm sure you know, this means the batsman has scored a 6. The batsman has scored a 6 is the answer to number 9. On to 10 now. So who is the only batsman to have recorded a whopping 400 runs in an international test match? And the name we're looking for is Brian Lara, when he scored that against, unfortunately, England in 2004. Brian Lara is the name we're looking for as the only batsman to score 400 runs. So, moving on to question 11. Which product has Ian Botham and Jeff Boycott both advertised on TV? And the answer to this one is shredded wheat. You might remember Ian Botham's advert where they took it up into room service, and all the people along the way are going, 3 shredded wheat? That's incredible. And Jeff Boycott as well, of course, as well as other sports people have also advertised shredded wheat, but they're the 2 cricketers that came to mind. So that's number 11. Number 12. What does the phrase bowl the maiden over mean in cricket? Well, it means when we've bowled 6 successive balls and the batsman hasn't scored any runs. So 6 successive balls have been bowled and the batsman hasn't scored any runs. It's the terminology bowl the maiden over. That's question number 12. Number 13, it's quite an interesting one. Who is the only Prime Minister to have played first class cricket? Was it Winston Churchill, John Major or Alec Douglas Home? And the answer is Alec Douglas Home. From October 1963 to October 1964 he was the Prime Minister. Not a very well known Prime Minister, but he is the last Prime Minister to hold office as a member also of the House of Lords. So Alex Douglas Home played first class cricket. Some of you may have put John Major because he was really into his cricket, as too was Winston Churchill. Number 14, penultimate question. Which national team are called the Baggy Greens? Which national team? Well, you might remember there's a team that wears a very baggy cap, and that team, of course, is Australia. Australia are known as the Baggy Greens in international cricket. So that's 14. And the last one, again, quite an interesting question, this one. A former chat show host Which former chat show host played club cricket alongside Jeff Boycott and Harold Dickie Bird? And the answer was Michael Parkinson. So Michael Parkinson, who also did have trials at Yorkshire, as did Jeff Boycott as well. But of course, Michael Parkinson didn't go on for a career in cricket. He had a career in showbiz, and most people remember his name. So the answer to 15 is Michael Parkinson. So that completes the cricketing 15 questions sporting memories. Quite a few different memories there, quite a few from the past. Hopefully that stirred up a few memories and maybe got you all going back to YouTube now to check and Google and check what I've got right. There are some interesting clips on there of people I've mentioned, like David Steele, for instance, the one who won the Sports Personality of the Year award. So definitely have a look about that one. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've got quite a few right. And I look forward to doing the next one with you next week. All right. Bye-bye for now. Bye.